Hey everybody, happy Monday, August 22nd. First day of school for kiddos around this area. But all four of my grandchildren started school today, so I'm very anxious to hear how their first day went. Later on this evening, I'll give them a shout and see how their first day went. But I love looking at all the pictures of all the kiddos heading out. It's so fun. I am going to turn the camera around. I'm sorry I was a couple minutes late. I had some technical difficulties. We had to update. I have all Apple products. I have a MacBook and I have an Apple phone and a watch, and I don't think the watch was affected, but I have an iPad, and I guess there was a big hullabaloo over update your devices because they can get into your devices. There was some kind of, I don't know. So I updated everything, and then when I tried to start this morning or this afternoon, it wouldn't, my camera wouldn't connect, but I got it. I had to restart everything. When all else fails, restart. That's my go-to fix for everything. I don't have any other fix other than just restart it. And it usually works. So, hi Loopy. I know enough about technology just to get myself in trouble, but we got it working, so I'm so excited. Worst case, I could have gone on just FaceTime, Facebook Live on my phone, and you just wouldn't see my face, which I didn't do my hair today, so that might have been a good thing. Maybe I should have just did that. Hi, Stacy. We are going to make the most fun little project. I'm so excited. We're going to make this little gingerbread house treat holder, party favor, whatever you want to call it. It measures 1.5, I believe. It's 1.5 inch square. Yep. By 1 3/4 inch tall. So it's not very big, but it's big enough to hold some little candies, some candy kisses, or just some small candies. And my favorite part is this little floating greeting, "Have a sweet Christmas." So I am going to show you how I did that, and I used the sweet gingerbread with the gingerbread house dies. Here are all the dies that coordinate if you buy the bundle, and you always save 10%. So if you get the stamp set and the coordinating bundle, you'll get all these dies, so you can make a nice hill, snow, or grass. I love this fence. I think I will use this fence a lot just in other cards that I make. The little Christmas trees, the little lollipops, the gingerbread trim. There's a little wreath and a heart. There's even some little stepping stones. And then these are the little gumdrops. I used one of the gumdrops up here for my little transom window. And so today we're going to do a little heat embossing. I did this little embellishment there with the heat emboss, but I used the gumdrops and the lollipops. I did not use any of the trees. And if you are on my mailing list, I'm praying and hoping, hi Carol, good to see you. I'm praying and hoping that I'm going to make a Halloween card with a haunted house this afternoon. So that will be on my my Tuesday tutorial. It's in my brain. It's not happened yet. So I'm just hoping. I have some great ideas, I think, to make a little Halloween scene using the gingerbread house. So be on the lookout for that. And I will probably post it on my social media as well. But if you're on my mailing list, you'll get the tutorial. Okay, to start out with, we're going to need a small box. And like I said at the beginning, this box measures 1.5 square by 1 3/4 inches tall. And I'm going to need my You can use your trimmer. I'm going to use my little scoring, Simply Scored tool. It just keeps me more organized when I'm trying to talk and do everything at the same time. And then this is a diagram that will be on my blog later, probably about 30 minutes after we get off here, because I'm pretty much done with the blog post. I just have to add some pictures and things. But this is the diagram. So if you read the diagram, I'll put it right here. And then you can kind of learn how I use my diagrams. So here's my cardstock, and it says to score at 1.5, 3, 4.5, that 3 is weird, and then 6 on the 6.5 inch side. So here's our score line, 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. Then we're going to turn it 90 degrees and score it at 1 inch on the 2 3/4 inch side. So that's this line right here. Now you'll see these little red marks, lines. Those are, I'll just toss that over there. That is where you're to cut. And then I've grayed out this little rectangle tab. So we're going to just completely cut that off. And then I like to make little widgets, I don't know what to call them, on my tabs. It just helps things square up easier. It's not necessary, but it does help things glue together and square up easier. So I've cut up on all these red marks just to this score line right here. So that, if you're following the diagram on my blog, that is what that means. And then again, I like to add these little divots. This paper is soft suede. My 6.5 by 2 3/4 is soft suede. I stamped my gingerbread with my crumb cake ink, and I stamped it several times. And it looks more like soft suede than crumb cake, but you'll see when I stamp my house why I decided to use the soft suede, because it looks more gingerbready. Okay, then all those score lines that we made, we're going to fold. And then here is the diagram. Shows adhesive on the back side. So I'm going to put a little piece of my tear and tape on the back side of this tab. You want to use a stronger adhesive because this is a box and you want it to hold up well. And then we're going to put a little strip of the tear and tape right here. This will be the front of our box. And I always like to, it's not going to show because we're putting the house on here, but I always like to have a fold here instead of a crease. So that's how come I did that. All right, so we will take the backing off, and you can just fold this over and line it up. And there's your little box. See how simple that is? And then fold these side tabs in, the back tab in, and then we're gonna take off our paper backing here. This is our front of our box. And then you can just take your bone folder or something and make sure that's all sticking together. Okay, so that's how simple the box is. Now we're going to stamp our little gingerbread house. And now that I'm looking at it, it would not have the white outline, which I kind of like. It looks more like the frosting on your gingerbread. if we just cut the house out of soft suede, which we could do, which I did. Let me show you that. It would just look like this, and we could add the doors and the windows and everything. But I kind of like the white outline, like I said, for the frosting. We'll use the blank one for the back. We're done with our diagram. So since this is a solid image, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I like to use it with solid images. And I've got this all set up and ready to roll. Make sure my magnet's not in the way. And I'm going to ink that up with my crumb cake, and I'll probably do more than one impression. That's why I'm using the Stamparatus. My ink pad is very, very juicy. I must have inked it back up the last time I used it. That made me mad that that moved. So you can see it's not a real solid, so I'm going to ink it up again and hope that that paper didn't shift. I think it'll be okay. Hi, Cat. We're just getting started. Okay, I think that's going to work good enough once we get it cut out. But as you can see, since I added the two impressions of ink, it made it a little darker, and is why I chose the soft suede for my house. Okay, let's wash that off. We will do all of our stamping, and then we'll die cut. I love my little chamois here for when I use my Stamparatus. It works really good. We're done with the crumb cake ink, and now I'm going to grab the Flirty Flamingo. All my pink on my little gingerbread house is the Flirty Flamingo, and the stuffing that I made is just the shredded Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to do the doors and the windows in the Flirty Flamingo. Making a mess. And I doubt I will have to do this twice. No, that's great. I'm going to leave that out because we are going to do some individual stamping. I'm done with my Stamparatus. Okay, we are going to stamp two little lollipops, except the little stick is crooked. There we go. And I'm doing these in the Flirty Flamingo too. Then we're going to do two gumdrops, and I'm doing those in Coastal Cabana. Threw some blue in there. And we need two of those. Okay. And then I did the sentiment tag in the Coastal Cabana too. Kind of got a little dirt or something on it. So I'm going to put that right there, and we will cut that out. And I think that's all the pieces. We're going to use some heat embossing there. So that is good to go. So we will use, it's so nice, where did I put that? That Stampin' Up! Gave us two lollipop dies, three gumdrop dies, and 2 window dies. So there's the door die. So we've got enough dies. We just have to cut. Well, actually, we've got 3, 2, 2, and 1. So we had enough dies to cut all of that out, which I love it when they do that, when they give us extra. But before we do that, we're going to heat emboss on our little house. And I went ahead and cut all this stuff out beforehand so you guys wouldn't have to sit here and watch me do all the die cutting. I'm going to go ahead and use that again. And I'm going to use the white Stampin' Emboss powder. Stampin' Up! Has the basic Stampin' Emboss powders, and you get a black, a clear, and a white. So I'm going to use the white. And this is what I had my scrap paper out here. I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and this is in the back of the catalog in the embossing kit that Stampin' Up! Now carries. I use it all the time when I'm heat embossing. And I'm going to use some Versamark, and I'm using this image right here to add a little, to add our little decorations on the front of our Victorian house. So I'm going to put it down a little ways because I'm going to add that gingerbread trim too. Alrighty, that took really well. Grab my tweezers. These are not the tweezers that come in the embossing kit by Stampin' Up, but they are similar in that they are, I forget what they call them, reverse squeeze? I don't know. But I love these kind of tweezers. So if you're needing an embossing buddy and some tweezers, that's a great place to start. And then you get your little tray with it for the embossing powder. Okay, kind of got a little crazy on the heat there. Now we will add, like I said, I cut all these pieces ahead of time. So we'll just dump them out here. This is just a plain house that we'll glue on the back of our box. Here's our little sentiment. Here is our gingerbread piece, which is what I wanted. And I think I'm just going to use a little multi-purpose liquid glue. So it came out really fast there. There we go. Sometimes I can't get it to come out for the love, and then sometimes it just comes out way too fast. That's going to go right on there like that. And then we can just adhere all of our little pieces. This seems like a Christmas set, but I think you could use this all year round. Like I said, this would be really sweet for Valentine's Day, a new home, you know, welcome to your new home. Um, what else? Like I said, if everything goes the way I'm planning in my brain, I am going to make a Halloween card using this, and it'll be in my Tuesday tutorial that goes out in the email. So if you're on my email list, you'll get the tutorial tomorrow. And I will probably post a picture of it as well on my social media. Okay, and then for the little gumdrops, I turned those into little shrubberies in front of the windows. And I just popped them up a little bit just to give a little dimension. And then we're going to just glue this right on the front of the box. Once you get all the pieces done and cut out, it really goes together quickly. I think these would make great little party favors, great little table setting things. Now I'm turning this upside down so that my chimney is on the same side. I could have cut it upside down in that way. It would have looked a little smoother, but I think it looks just fine. Okay, now to make the little floating sign, I'm going to take a 1/2 inch, I don't know how long this is, 1/2 inch by 4 inch. I may cut a little out, and I have scored it. This is window sheet. We sell it in the back of our catalog. You can also use like takeout containers, you know, the clear plastic salad that they put salads and things in. You could use that. And I might trim a little bit of this off, but I don't think so. So I put a score line on the window sheet at about 1/2 inch, about 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to put a piece of the tear and tape on there. I think I'll put a couple pieces. They're going to overlap, but I just want it to really be stuck. You know what I mean? And I should have taken the backing off that one piece first. We'll do that. Okay, now we're going to just stick it down in there. I'm kind of putting it not in the exact middle, but not against the edge, if that makes sense. And then I can take my little bone folder or pencil or something and make sure that's really stuck. Okay. Then we're going to add our little lollipops, and I think I popped this one up with a little, these are the mini dimensionals that I'm using. Where did I throw them? Here we go. And then this one I just glued down there. And pop it up. Oh, I put it higher, it looks like. There we go. That looks better anyway. Okay. Then I should have put the tear and tape on the strip of window sheet first, but we'll be okay. There we go. And then I will just kind of put that on there. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut another one of these. It looks like a cloud or a saying. You could cut another one out and glue it to the back, but I think it looks fine. I don't think it looks bad. Then you would add your candies. Now I cut some shreddy out of some Flirty Flamingo that coordinates with our ink that we used, and that kind of helps hold your sign up, or when you put your candies in there, that will help hold your sign up as well. But that is the project today. I think it's darling. I'm going to make several. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but I'm going to have several on hand. And like I said, I'm going to, as soon as I get off here, finish my blog post, so you'll have all the measurements and everything you need for this, as well as the replay of today's video. I'm going to attempt to make a Halloween card using our Sweet Gingerbread bundle. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. I will be back Wednesday. I'm going to try and be back Wednesday morning again. I really want to start doing my coffee and cards on Wednesday mornings, but it's just the last couple weeks have really not worked out. But I'm going to attempt. If it's not Wednesday morning, it will be Wednesday afternoon, and I will post it and let you know. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me. Happy stamping, y'all.